Hello, welcome to Medicine for the Soul Yoga. My name is Kat and this is week 4 of our beginners yoga course. So if you haven't yet seen the previous 3 videos of this course, I would recommend that you go ahead and do them first, just because we're building on each things that we work on each week. However, if you are new and just wanting to jump in, then welcome. And today we're going to be working on our hips and our hamstrings. Super important to focus on these areas, especially if you're doing lots of exercise or specifically running and cycling. These can get really tight and hold a lot of tension. So we're going to work through some stretching that you can incorporate into after your exercise routine as well, and really help keep your joints loose and also help with muscle production as well. We also hold a lot of emotions in our hips. So if you do feel anything coming up in some of our deeper hip stretches, then please know this is normal, it's absolutely fine. Just breathe through it and come back to child's pose if it ever gets too much at all. So we're going to actually start in child's pose today, and we're going to do the wide leg variation. So with our knees apart, we've practiced this one before, and our feet together, pushing the hips down towards the heels, and you'll notice this starting to wake up the inner hip. And we'll reach the hands forward and arriving wherever works for you. So either on the hands, maybe we can drop the forearms down, bring the elbows in, and maybe this is enough. Or maybe we can slide the hands slightly more forward and melt the chest further down. Maybe we can even bring the forehead onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to just arrive at the mat. So just settling down and feel your body releasing and melting into the ground. And beginning to focus on the breath. Big deep breaths in and out through the nose. And in this wide leg child's pose, there's a lot of room for your belly to move with the breath. So really allowing that and making the most of that. Feeling your stomach inflate like a balloon with every inhale. And gently releasing with every exhale. We use the breath as our anchor to the present moment. You can't breathe in the past and you can't breathe in the future. So when you're just focusing on your breath, you're really living in the present moment, which is one of the goals of yoga, to find this presence. Good. One more big inhale. Big exhale through the mouth this time. Good. We'll lift the head up if it's not already, and we're going to draw ourselves up. Walk the hands slightly back so they're underneath the shoulders, and we can draw the knees so that they're underneath the hips as well. Exhale, we're going to round off the back. Inhale, arch, rolling away the shoulders, lift up the face. Exhale, round, really tuck the tailbone in, tuck the chest towards the chin towards the chest. Inhale, arching. Good, closing your eyes and really flowing with the breath here. So really feeling the breath, traveling through the body, pausing at each moment, not rushing at all. Finding this kind of synchronicity between the breath and movement, which makes it a meditative practice. Otherwise, we're really just stretching. So really focusing on the breath is key. Good, and then we'll come back to our neutral spine, really good. So we're going to lift the right leg up and place the toes at the back of the mat so the leg is straight. And we'll just gently pulse forward and back, so we're just waking up the back of that right leg. Still focusing on that same breath. Good. And then we'll just pause here. We're going to lift up this right heel. So we ideally want the leg to be parallel to the hips. If this is too much, then just come to wherever you can, or even keep the foot on the mat is fine as well. If you can lift it up, then do, sucking the core in and feeling the core wake up here. Big deep breath through the nose. Check in with the hands, the fingers spread and almost gripping the mat. Like I've mentioned, we want to be really grounding ourselves with our hands. If you feel you want the challenge, we can maybe lift the left hand up. You can hover off the mat or even lengthen out long if you're feeling stable. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears, sucking the belly in. Really good. One more big inhale. Exhale, we're going to release that left hand down. If you want to bring the right foot down, do, otherwise keeping it lifted. Good. As we exhale, we're going to bend the right leg, join in if you've got it on the mat, and we're going to try and draw the knee into the face. So we're going to do that rounded back we've just done, but with the knee this time, really using the core to hug it up. Good. As we inhale, we're going to arch the back, let the leg be bent, and lift up. Imagine like you want to tap the back of the head with the foot. Quite a way to go, don't worry. And then exhale, we're going to round again and draw the knee in. Imagine you want to tap the knee on the forehead, pushing out of the hands, rounding the shoulders. Good, big inhale, last time. Arching the back, looking up. Exhale, this time we're going to bring the knee underneath the body. We're going to lift ourselves onto our fingertips. Draw our hips back to give us space to bring that foot forward. If you need to use your hands to help you, then do. No judgment here. Doing whatever your body can do in the moment is really great, and you should accept that. So bring the right foot forward, heel toe the foot forward, allow the hips to sink down. We can either stay with the hands supporting us here, or we can bring the hands onto the knee. Just make sure your balance is okay. Make sure your feet are hip width apart to give you a chance at your balance as well. If you're on one long line, it's pretty difficult. Good, so we'll just work into sinking the hip here. You'll feel it in the left hip here. So just working into that. Every exhale, maybe we can just sink a bit deeper. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, checking in with your breath. Big inhale together, big exhale. Allow the hips to sink a bit deeper, really good. We're going to then place the hands back on the mat, maybe just the fingertips. Begin to draw the hips back and slide this right foot all the way back to tabletop, placing the hands back underneath the shoulders, really good. Exhale, round in the back. Inhale, arching. Good. Exhale, rounding, this time bringing the left knee in with you. Inhale, arching. Good. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching. Last time, exhale, rounding. Good. Inhale, arching. And then we're going to straighten out that leg. So the same as what we did before, but the other way around. Point the toes down, push the left heel away, pushing out the hands. Big deep breath through the nose, sucking the core in. Really good. Nearly there. And then we can slowly lower the toes down, back onto the back of the mat. Good, and release that leg. And just pulse gently forward and back, pushing the heel away. Really good. So we'll draw this left leg up, and as we exhale, come onto our fingertips slightly and try and place that foot somewhere. So it's quite hard to get it really far forward in this position, so it's totally fine if you need to use your hand and place your foot more forward. We're going to then sink the hips down. We can roll onto the fleshy part of our knee, so bring your weight forward in that back leg to kind of protect the knee, so you're not relying on the joint there. And then we can try and lift ourselves up. So just check in now. I'm able to sink my hips a bit lower, but that means that this knee comes over the ankle. So I'm going to just rearrange myself, shuffle this foot forward, give myself a bit more space. And then we can sink down. Big inhale, big exhale, feeling that deep release in the hips. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Good. One more big inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands down to frame the foot. This time we're going to tuck the toes of the back foot and step forward into half flat back. Stepping forward, inhale, half flat back. Hands on the shins, draw the shoulders away. Big inhale. Big exhale, we're going to come into a forward fold. Keeping the weight forward in the feet, releasing the forehead, releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders out of their sockets. Hold onto each elbow with the opposite hand and just let yourself gently sway side to side. Good. Release the hands, and we're just going to really slowly roll up the back. We can keep the legs slightly bent. Big shoulder roll at the top. Keeping the chin tucked down, palms facing forward. Good. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back and just open out the shoulders. So rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Try and bring the palms of the hands together. Keeping the arms straight, we can just gently begin to lift the hands up. Maybe they only come a tiny bit, so that's fine. Quite a deep stretch here. We're going to begin to bend into the legs and tip ourselves forward into another forward fold. Releasing the head and letting the hands float over the head. Keep the weight forward in the balls of the feet. Really feeling those shoulders release. And then now we're going to start to try and just straighten the legs a bit more, lifting the tailbone up and really feeling it in the hamstrings. Keeping the weight forward. Good. One more big inhale. Big exhale, releasing the head and the neck. Good. Keeping this forward fold, we'll just bring the hands down, back towards the feet. And we're going to really bend into the left leg, keep the right leg straight. As we inhale, lift the right hand up. So the left fingertips in front of us. Big inhale here. Feeling it in the right hamstring. Exhale, bring that right hand around. Really bending into the right leg now. Keep the left leg straight. Big inhale, lifting up that left hand. Good. Exhale, releasing back down. We're going to bend into the legs as we need to. Plant the hands really firmly on the ground, fingers spread. And we're going to step back. Drop the knees, come back to our downward dog. Good. Walk the hands back so they're underneath the shoulders. We're just going to do a little kind of hip release. I love this stretch. So we'll lift up both of the feet and let the feet dip from one side to the other. Really dipping the hips each side, feeling it in the side body. Good, and then coming back to center, we'll just do little wrist rolls going in a clockwise direction. Feeling that weight distribution travel through each of the fingers. Fingers are spread. And then anti-clockwise. So you almost want to be gripping onto the mat. The tips of the fingers are really in contact and pushing into the ground. Really good. We'll come back to neutral spine. We're going to inhale, draw that right leg up. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, drawing it up. Exhale, drawing the right foot to the outside edge of the hands this time. So this is coming into a bit of a deeper stretch. We're coming into lizard now. So we can really heel toe that right foot forward and let the hips sink down. So you'll notice with the right foot out to the side, we can sink the hips lower. There's more space. So either staying on the fingertips like this is perfect. If you need to come up a bit, then you can use that right leg as support and keep yourself lifted. But if you can bring the hands to the inside of the right foot, then do that. And really let the hips go. So we subconsciously hold on to tension in the hips, and it kind of protects our joints. So obviously it's a good thing. But sometimes we can work against that, and it means that we're kind of tensing up. So really focus on every exhale, really telling your body to release the hips, and you'll be surprised at how much extra space you can find. Coming onto your hands if you can, working towards melting the chest down and down. Use the breath. Good, quite an intense one. Last exhale, melting a bit deeper, and then draw the hands back. And this time we're going to draw the hips back, keep the right foot where it is, framing the foot, bring the right hand over, and we'll just release that right hip. So push the right hip back, feeling it in the right hamstring, draw the chest down towards the thigh. Big inhale here, big exhale. Good. And we can lift the hips up slightly, find our way back to tabletop. Drawing the hands underneath the shoulders. Big inhale, arching the back. Big exhale. Good. One more time, big inhale. Big exhale. This time we draw the left foot around, so almost opening out that left knee, placing that left foot on the outside edge of the mat. Shuffling that foot forward, you know you need that space. Coming onto the fingertips of the hands or onto the knee if you need to be lifted a bit higher. But we're aiming to get the fingertips on the inside. Bringing the hands down as well, really sinking the hips. Big, deep breaths. Really allowing that chest to melt deeper and deeper with every exhale. Good, one more big inhale. It's quite an intense stretch, this. Good. And then gently coming up, we're going to shift the hips back, framing the foot with the hands, left hand over. Let the toes lift up, coming into our nice hamstring stretch here. So pushing the left hip back and the right hip forward, melting the chest down, relaxing the shoulders. Big inhale, big exhale. Really good. This time we're going to bring the hips forward, keep that left foot where it is, and we're going to try and step the right foot forward into a low yogi squat. So if you think that's not going to happen for you, then just find your way there in whichever way you can. But if you can, we're going to tuck the toes of this back leg and we're going to step ourselves forward. Really good. Not the most graceful transition. Keeping the hands in front of you as support, and we can just gently sway side to side. And either keeping the hands down like this is fine. Make sure the toes are pointed out to give yourself space. Makes it easier if the toes are really pointing out. If we can, we're going to bring the palms together. Really allow the hips to sink, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Let the knees push the elbows apart and the palms push together in your center. And have this really lovely grounded feeling, this kind of centered feeling with the hands and the palms pushing together. The heels can be lifted or on the mat, it's fine. One more big inhale, big exhale. As we inhale, we're going to lift ourselves up into standing. Draw the palms up, slightly lean back, squeeze the glutes. Really filling up the lungs here with an inhale. As we exhale, good, we're going to draw ourselves back down into whichever squat we can find. Stop wherever works for you. Big exhale, all the air out. Big inhale, reach up. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Good. Big exhale, drawing down. Good. This time placing the hands on the mat in front of you. Exhale, we're going to draw the hips up, come into a forward fold. Just a gentle one, keep the legs bent. As we inhale, lift the chest up, drop the hips down. Exhale, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, lifting up. Really good. Last time, exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to heel toe the feet in so that they're together. And then we'll roll really gently up the back. Big shoulder roll at the top. And big exhale, release the hands to the side, palms facing forward. Feel yourself grounded and balanced. If your eyes are closed, the balance is a bit harder. It's quite a good challenge. Finding that center point without being able to see. Good. Gently opening the eyes. We're going to just do a quick standing balance to finish. So we're going to do tree pose, which is a really great balance, but also a hip opening one. So we're going to really ground into the left foot, bring the toes slightly off center and spread the toes. As we inhale, we're going to lift the right knee up. And we're going to try and hold on to that right knee or under the thigh if that's not accessible. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and really squeeze the core and squeeze and hug that right knee in. So we're going to work a bit with our hip flexor strength. So we're going to try and release the knee and keep the knee lifted. So it's our hips and our core that is holding up this leg. And have the hands on the palms. Good. We'll open out that knee to the side. Keep the knee lifted. Keep breathing deeply. And then we're going to bring that right foot down somewhere onto the shin. If you feel comfortable with your tree, then by all means go ahead and place the heel right up in the left thigh. So whichever one works for you, just not over the knee joint. So if you can, placing it on the shin. If you're finding that a bit tough today, then have the toes on the mat as well. It's still a good balance. So find wherever works for you and draw the palms into the center. Again, like in that low squat, we find this centered feeling with the palms joined together, and it really helps with the balance. And we can look at something that's not moving. Our drishti, our gaze, is at a point that's not moving. And we're engaging our core, breathing deeply. Inhale. If you want, we can raise the palms above the head. Keep the shoulders drawing back and down. Keep breathing. My balance is not very good today. Keep that right knee drawing away. Especially if you're on a carpet or a rug, this is going to be quite tough, so be kind to yourself. If you wobble, pick yourself back up. Exhale, we'll draw the hands down, really good. And we'll just shake out the legs. Shake out that left ankle in particular. Draw the right toes slightly off center and spreading the toes. Big inhale, reach that left knee up, hugging the knee into the chest. Engaging the core now, letting go of that knee. Maybe it comes down a bit, that's fine. Hands on the hips. Open that left knee out, keep the right hip where it is. Good, and then find your tree. Right, left heel somewhere along the right thigh, the right shin, or resting the toes on the mat. Bring the palms to center. Focus on the breath. And then lifting the hands if you can. You'll often find that one side is a bit stronger and easier than the other. And you can feel, well, I can feel my ankle and my feet muscles kind of firing up, all these little tiny twitches. So as we do this balance, we're building up those little muscles that we often don't use, and this balance will get easier and easier. So it's a good thing to practice every time you practice yoga. One more big inhale, big exhale, draw the hands to center, really good, and release. And we'll just come back to the front of the mat. Big inhale, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, coming into a gentle forward fold, bending into the legs if you need. Releasing the forehead down. This time we're going to place the hands behind the back of the head and just let the shoulders and the elbows draw ourselves further down, lengthening the back of that neck. The thumbs that are free can maybe even give your neck a little massage, going round in circles, lengthening up and down the length of the neck. Keeping the weight forward in the balls of the feet. Big inhale, big exhale. Drawing the hands down. Good. We're going to lift up, we're going to come into a toe balance. So we're going to lift up the toes and allow the hips to sink down. So again, really spreading all 10 toes, coming onto your fingertips as support and lifting the chest up, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Really good. We want to really, really tuck those heels up and let the tailbone sink down, almost meeting the back of the heels. So really tucking up those heels as much as we can. Either staying here is fine, maybe working with lifting up the hands, maybe even drawing them again into your center. I think this one is actually easier than it looks, but maybe that's just me. So just working with whatever you can. Good, and then exhale, drawing the hands down, and then we're going to reach the hands back and just let ourselves come down. Again, not the most graceful transition. Bring the feet about hip width apart, hands over the knees. As we exhale, we're going to just release back, tuck the chin in, let all the air out. As we inhale, pulling on the knees, opening the knees out, push the chest forward, big inhale. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching. One more time. Exhale, rounding. Can close down the eyes and find that meditative practice. Inhale, arching. Good. And then gently we're going to find our way back to lying down. So shifting the hips forward if you need a bit of space. We can use our core here, or we can support ourselves with our legs. But if we're using the core, bring the hands out to the side. Sucking the belly in and really, really slowly rolling down. Keep the chin tucked in. Keep breathing all the way down, really good. Until we find ourselves arriving just at the mat, lying down, feeling the shoulder blades melting down into the ground. We'll just bring our hands onto our stomach for a moment. And just feel the breath pushing the hands away. Really deep belly breath here. Just taking a moment to be grateful for the privilege we have of having these bodies that allow us to practice and move, do so many things. And just take a moment to feel that gratefulness just rushing through your body. Such a simple but beautiful thing that is so often overlooked. Good, and then we're just going to let the feet come into the body a bit deeper. So bending the legs, big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to let both the knees dip to the left side, and we'll twist our head over to the right and have the palm facing up. Coming into a nice spinal release. If you want to intensify this, you can bring the left foot onto the outside of the right knee. So it's really stretching out the right side body. Keeping that right shoulder blade to the mat. Big inhale here together. Big exhale, releasing any tension that you're holding in the legs or in the face. Noticing where you can do less here. Good, and on an inhale, we'll gently roll our knees back up to the center. Big inhale, and as we exhale, rolling them over to the right, looking over the left shoulder, palm facing up. Right foot can be on the outside edge of the left knee. Big inhale. Big exhale, release. Physically, but also mentally, letting go of any thoughts that are still going on in your mind and not useful here. Using the core, we'll bring our knees up to center. Good, and we'll just draw the knees into the chest. Rock side to side gently. Wrapping the arms around the knees, bring the face up to the knees and give yourself a big squeeze. Good, and then we can gently release the legs all the way down to the ground. Drawing the palms either side of the body, palm facing up. Surrendering here to the present moment. Releasing control over the body, over the breath. And just accepting being rather than doing. We spend our whole lives doing and thinking and planning. And sometimes just being in the present moment, being with your breath, being with your body, is really just what we need. So just giving yourself that time now. If you find a thought coming into your mind, just let it go. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Sometimes counting your breaths in your head can really help bring that focus to the breath. And just doing a body scan, releasing all the tension in the face. Between the eyebrows and the mouth, letting the shoulder blades melt into the ground, Fingers are really relaxed. And both the legs are super heavy and relaxed. Just feeling the gentle rise and fall of your tummy with every breath. Just checking in, there's no tension that has arisen in their body. Letting any thoughts go that have come into the mind without judgment. Just accept that's happened and bring your awareness back to the breath. We'll gently wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. And on an inhale, reach the hands above the head, give yourself a full body stretch. As we exhale, rolling onto the right hand side, resting the head in the hands. And when you're ready, we can use the hands to gently guide ourselves up to a seated position, crossing the legs. Hands on the knees, chin tucked down, eyes closed. Again, just giving thanks to your body. And also to yourself for bringing yourself to your practice and reminding yourself of the journey that you're on, the improvements that you're making. And just be proud of yourself for that. Even just getting onto the mat is a little win and something to be celebrated. Big inhale, we can reach the hands up, opening the eyes. Exhale, draw the palms to center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that practice. I hope your hips are feeling okay tomorrow. And yeah, any of those stretches are really great to do after exercise, so particularly the lizard and the leaning the hips back. So feel free to revisit this video whenever you feel you need that extra stretch. And thank you so much. I'll see you next time.